Hello sewing students! Today it's time to make skirts. We're going to make this fitted skirt. It has 8 darts, 4 in the front and 4 in the back, and a zipper in the back. So the 8 darts give it a nice snug fit, so it's a nice fitted skirt. And you can also adjust the length. So if you want to shorten it or lengthen it, you can, and I'll show you how to do that. And then if you want to at the end, if you're feeling ambitious, you could add a nice decorative patch like I did, or you could even put pockets on the back, patch pockets on the back. That's up to you on your own. So today we're going to have a few steps. I'm going to show you the materials needed. I'm going to show you number 2, how to cut the pattern out and how to transfer the darts. Number 3, I'm going to show you how to pin the darts and sew the darts. And let's get sewing. I'm going to show you all the materials that you need for this project. First, you're going to need your pattern. There's 2 pieces. This is the front piece. The front has the cut on fold grain line here, and the back has a straight, plain straight grain line. The back says cut 2, and the front says cut 1. Now the reason the front says cut 1 is because we're gonna fold the fabric, and we're gonna line this up on the fold. And I'll explain that more when we cut out. But there's 2 pieces to the pattern. It's really simple. You're gonna need your fabric, which I have here, about 1 yard, depending how wide the fabric is. Your matching thread, a 9-inch or longer zipper, and some bias tape for the waistband. You'll need a ruler, your pins, chalk, your fabric scissors, and your mini scissors. And that's it. We're ready to get to work. So I'm at the cutting table. I'm assuming you might have a nice table to work on, or maybe you're working on the floor, whatever works best. The first thing you do with your fabric is you fold it in half, right sides together. So I found my right side. These are the sides that are going to show, so I'm putting them together. And I folded it lengthwise on the length grain. I can see my selvage edge right here. So I have it folded, and my fabric has a stripe, so it's really easy to see where the length grain is. The first thing you do always is clip into your selvage edge about 2 inches all the way wide, all the way to the end. I'm clipping like 2-inch distances here and about a 1/2 inch deep. You want to clip through the whole entire selvage edge. It releases the fabric so it relaxes. So then I can lay out my pattern. So the front of the pattern actually has to be on the fold. So I'm going to line it up right here on the fold, right up to the edge. But before I start pinning it, I'm going to shorten it. So if you want to shorten it or lengthen it, this is how you do it. First, you'll measure yourself. You'll measure from your waist, your true waist, all the way down to where you want the skirt to be. You might need someone to help you do that. So you have someone help you do that, and then you'll take that number. It might be 20 inches, and then you'll write 20 inches on your pattern. And then look at your pattern. I've written on every pattern, I've written the length. So this one's 22 inches long. So if I want to shorten it to 20, that's 2 inches. So I need to shorten this pattern 2 inches. So you take your ruler, and you're going to measure from the bottom of the pattern up 2 inches, and you're going to mark it with a pencil all the way across. And this is the proper way to shorten or lengthen. If you're going to lengthen, you do the same thing, but you're just going the other way. You're going to add going the other way. So once I do that, I can simply fold my pattern on that line. And now I have my new length. So also don't forget this number 20 you need to add a 1/2 inch to it. So if you want it to end at 20 inches, make sure you add plus a 1/2 inch for your hem. So I forgot to do that, so I need it to be at 20.5 inches. So I need to subtract a 1/2 inch from this line I made, so that I have room for my hem. So I'm drawing a new line. So now I have my new line and I'm going to fold on that. So there we go. So now that I have that length, I'm going to go ahead and pin my skirt. So I'm going to use fabric weights. So you want to get it right up on the edge of the fold. Everyone's fabric's a little different. Mine's kind of bumping up. And then I'm going to take some pins to hold down these edges that are flying up here. And then I'm going to take my back pattern and I'm going to line it up as well. So I want to take my back pattern and shorten it too. So remember, I want my length to be 20.5. So, and my true length is 22. The actual skirt length is 22. So I'm going to subtract 1.5 inches. So I'm shortening it 1.5. And I'm just using my ruler. You go all the way across. And then I'm going to fold this one up too. And then I'm going to use this grain line here to make sure that it's parallel to the selvage edge. And put some pins in. So I have these nice stripes, so it's easy for me to see the selvage edge. But you can also use your ruler and measure like this. So I'm at the 5. And yep, I'm good. I'm good. Yep, I'm good all the way across. So a few more pins. So don't be confused by the pattern where it says cut 2, cut 1. It's still 2 layers. You want to have 2 layers. The cut 1 is just referring to the fold. That's how patterns talk. That's pattern language. So I think that's pinned out pretty well. Now it's time to cut it out. After you're done cutting out the pattern, now we need to transfer all these markings. These are darts here, these triangles, and these notches. So don't take your pattern off. Don't pull the pattern off. You want to leave it on. We're going to work with the front right now. And something that I wanted to remind all of you that I keep forgetting is a trick. Always iron your pattern before you work with it. Take it to the ironing board, give it a light iron so it's nice and flat. There aren't any wrinkles or curls in it. So that's a little trick. So first let's do the notches. They're right here. There's a line with a T, and you're gonna clip a 1/4 inch right there into the fabric. We don't wanna go more than a 1/4 inch because then that would clip into the seam allowance and we'd have a hole. But that's gonna tell us these notches, we're going to match these to the back, and that helps us sew the garment together. Then I'm going to notch the darts, these darts here. There's 2 ends, a 1/4 inch, just like that, 1/4 inch, a little snip. If you have good scissors, you should be able to just hold it like this and clip to the point. Never go like that, because then you'll end up clipping too far. Always just to the point. So I'm done with this one. Now we'll do the back. So first we will clip into the notches, just 1/4 inch. Again, these notches tell us how to sew the pattern together. And then I'm going to do my darts. I'll show you how to transfer the darts after we do this. So then I'm done with that. You can take the pins off now and remove the pattern. So let's work with one at a time. This is my back. So first I have to, before I'm done with the pattern, I'm going to put a couple weights back here. I have to transfer this point here. This is basically a triangle, and I want to transfer that just like this, fold it back, and go like that with my chalk. It makes a mark. Same here. Chalk and a mark, because I'm going to draw in the lines when I'm done. And then I'm going to take my pattern and turn this fabric over, and turn the pattern over, and mark the other side. So I want to line the pattern up nice and neat so everything's transferred correctly. And I'm holding the point with my finger, folding the pattern back, and marking it with the chalk, and it ends up looking like that. So I'm done with the back. I'm going to put that aside. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the front. So I take out all my pins. I'm just going to put a couple weights here. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Use my finger to hold that back, and I'm marking it. And the one down here, marking it. And now I'm going to do the other side. Gently flip it over. We want to keep everything the same. Make sure the edges are still lined up the way they're supposed to be. I think mine moved a little bit. My fabric's a little bit slippery, so I'm just putting it back. And I'm going to flip my pattern over so everything is the same on this side as on the other side. And I'm lining it up. And I'm going to put the darts on this side. Make sure it's lined up. So patterns are only 1/2 of the body. We've talked about this in the past. We work with 1/2 the body, and then we cut 2 from the same pattern, and we get 2 exact sides to form the whole body. That's how patterns work. All right, so now I'm done doing that. So I'm going to draw in the darts. So I take my ruler and find those notches that you made. I found my 2 notches. And I'm going to mark it just so it's easier to see with the chalk. And I'm going to draw in my lines to make that triangle, just like this. So these lines are going to help you pin and sew the dart. So again, I'm going to mark these in like that. And like this. So then you turn it over and you do the other side the same way. So I'm going to find those notches and mark them like this and draw in my lines. So you're doing this 8 times because you have to do it 4 on the front and 4 on the back. So you're going to get really good at this. So make sure your chalk line is nice and sharp so that you can see it, because if you can't see it, you're going to have trouble with the next step. So that's the front. So the back, you do the same exact thing in the back. So you work from the wrong side so you can see your lines, and you fold the dart in half and you match the notches there. And then you use your pin and you pin on that yellow line, and you want to match the line on the other side. So your pin should come up on the other side like that and be on the line. If it's not on the line, then you need to re-fold the dart and find that line. So my pin is on the line like that. So you start at the top of the dart with your pins and you work your way down to the point. And the dart is literally folded in half. Like this. And I'm lucky, I'm nailing it right in one try. Sometimes it takes a couple of tries to get your pin right on that line. And I'm going to go right down. I can see where my T mark is. I'm going to go right down to that point there and stop. So now my dart is pinned. So you'll do the same thing for all the other darts. You'll pin them, and then you can either pin them all and then sew them, or pin and sew, it's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to sew this one. So this is how you pin it, and now I'll show you how to sew it, and we'll be done for today. So on the sewing machine, I'm going to start at the top of the dart. Always take your pins out before you sew. We're going to backstitch the top. And I'm sewing on that yellow line that I drew. So it's a nice guide. You just look at the line and stay on it. As you sew, you're going to go straight down to nothing. So the point comes down to 0. And you literally want to just go right off the fabric to 0. So no backstitch. So you can see that I started at the top and I went straight off the fabric, straight down to 0. Straight down to 0. And then you're going to trim the thread but leave a nice tail. I left like a 3-inch tail. And instead of backstitching, we're going to just tie a knot by hand. So when you make darts, you never want to backstitch here. You just want to sew off the fabric so that it's soft. When you backstitch, you use a lot of thread, and it makes it thicker. And we want the dart to be soft and flat because it's on the interior of the body. So I just tied a knot by hand, and then you trim your tail down about 1 inch, like that. So you have a little 1-inch tail. And trim off your thread at the top, and there's your dart. So it looks like this when you open it up. So the front of the skirt will be like that. And I'll show you how to press the darts in our next video. Hi, that's it for today. I'll see you next week. Bye.